You and me are still resident non-Indians. RNI, I call you. You are staying here, but thinking with the American mind or the English mind. This RNI mentality has to change. Now, if you go deep and find out what happened was, in the 50s, it was found that sugar is very bad for the heart. Sugar is a poison, which is true. But the sugar lobby got worried. So they hired 3 scientists, so-called quote-unquote scientists. Who is a scientist? I'll tell you later. If I forget, remind me. 3 scientists to create a myth saying that fat is bad, not the sugar. So they created a beautiful thing called cholesterol, fat, and even today, a lot of people call me and say, my fat profile is bad, doctor. I said, what is a fat profile? Don't worry. If it is bad, it's good for you. You will live long. But they worry about it. Then we have a drug for everything. So we always believe that, or the patient believes that the pill for every ill. And I changed that to say that while there is no pill for every ill, there is an ill following every pill. Even aspirin has got so much of side effects. The people used to swallow an aspirin tablet after the age of 40 to keep the heart attack away. The audit shows while aspirin may or may not reduce the heart attack rate, it will 10% of aspirin takers certainly get fatal cerebral hemorrhage, brain hemorrhage. I have lost a very important educationist, a patient of mine, who was vice chancellor of so many universities in Karnataka, very important man, very nice man. He was given aspirin. So I told him and his family, please stop that aspirin. But they wouldn't listen because they said, no, our doctors have given it, we should take it. He continued, and one day he was phoning up a friend of his in the evening and then just collapsed and became unconscious. And when scan showed, he had bled into his brain completely, and the brain was completely suppressed by the brain, and he died on the spot. So this is what is happening. So even aspirin, so don't take medicines unnecessarily. Take medicines very carefully. Then I said, you know, what are the common things? An audit in Canada showed that when a doctor sees one patient, a heart attack patient in society, he will have seen 36,000 common illness syndromes, which are called minor illness syndromes. We don't even teach that in the medical school. We teach about the coronary artery branches or the facial artery branches, but not about minor illness syndromes. What are the minor illness syndromes? Common cold, feverish cold, flu-like illness, sore throat. And for all these things, today we go to a hospital doctor and get so many medicines or television advertisements. सिर में दर्द है, हाँ यार, ये भी है, हाँ हाँ यार, और भी ये है, हाँ हाँ यार, तो 5 दवा देना, एक नहीं. Take these 5, and he swallows that, and immediately the whole thing becomes normal. So you believe that. Actually, these are all. It was Harvard University, one Professor Simon, who showed that our old granny's ginger is the best antiviral drug. Ginger. Ginger, pepper, and garlic together will probably solve most of these problems without any side effects at all. Last but not the least is the commonest thing that you get is a sore throat. And you go to a doctor and take an antibiotic. An antibiotic spoils your health. But you would be surprised to know that the best treatment for a sore throat is hot water sip. You sit quietly, take a mug of hot water. If you want, put a little lime in it to make it tasty, and keep on sipping for about an hour. When your throat becomes 1 degree centigrade higher, the viruses die and you are okay by afternoon. So simple. And all this is because we have wonderful treatments in other systems also, which we say do not have evidence base. Now we know the evidence base of Western medicine is evidence manufactured. I told you how fat became an evidence for heart disease. Similarly, all other medicines are like that. So all these things you have to spread now. So all this, I do an average every week at television view, and I do 1 or 2 YouTube videos. So all these go around, and now I got statistics say I got about 5 million people in the world who are influenced. I get calls from Australia, America, China, everywhere, and I get consultations on the YouTube, on email from all these places. Because I'm free, I'm doing this free, I just can't cope up with it because I get about 200, 250 email consultation requests every day. And people have a myth that saying that I don't have to see the doctor, my reports can be seen by the doctor. So I always tell them I have got a set written. I have not learned how to treat reports. I have learned how to treat a human being. And I don't believe in disease, but I believe in the patient. Hippocrates said, know thy patient more than his disease. And when once I know the patient, it's very easy to treat, because supposing I have a headache, I don't have to go for a tablet. I know if I know the person very well, and if I know that he and his wife are not getting on very well, I just have to pat him and say, why did you fight with your wife yesterday? Just take it easy, the headache will go. And I had a patient, a very important man in India. If I told his name, you'll all know, stand up. This man keeps seeing me every time I go to Chennai with, I have a small headache here. Yesterday again he came. He is 94. And he said, I have a small headache here. So I told him, dear sir, because you have a head, there must be an ache. And I have a treatment for that. He said, he is a colleague of our CNR Rao and all. So when CNR Rao got the Nobel Prize, what is that called? Bharat Ratna Award. This man did not get it. After that, the headache started. So I said, I would, if I have the power, request the government of India to give you a Bharat Ratna or what is it, whatever, Bharat Ratna or so, your headache will go. He laughed. And his assistant told me afterwards, sir, Ninge, Satyama Sonninge, this is exactly our review also, but we can't tell it because he's a big man. That's the right treatment. So yesterday again he came. So I told him, don't you worry, nothing will happen. Your head is all right. And he has had all things, CAT scan, dog scan, PET scan. And each time he goes to the doctor and says, I have a headache, they scan his head. And I said, at this rate, you will have a cancer in the head because you've been scanning so many things. So this is the story. So if I know the person, I know the treatment which doesn't require medicines. My suggestion is you require as less medicine as possible. Life is very good. I had a stroke recently. I followed all the rules of the game to lead a healthy life. But one day I was lecturing like this in a college for about 2.5 hours. I was standing lecturing. After that, I went for a meal. Then I found my leg was a little weak. And there's a story started there. But anyway, I recovered, thank God. Let's cut the long story short. I've written an article about it. It's called Autopathographies. I've written how it happens and why it goes. All this is because it's in the mind. Ultimately, the mind is the seat of all the disease. And mind has to be corrected. So I was telling that scientist yesterday who saw me for a headache, I said, sir, we have all the gadgets, but we don't have a mindoscope. If you can get into your mind and see, decipher your mind, your headache will have gone. He said, yes, mindoscope, that's a very good idea. எங்க சொன்னீங்க? Then I said, no, சொல்லல, இப்பதான் ஆலோசனை பண்ணேன். உங்களை பார்த்தா ஆலோசனை பண்ணேன். See, that's how it happens. But mind you, this is very difficult to change. Change is very difficult. But these days we are better off. When in the 18th century, Simmel said, doctors don't wash their hands and that's why patients die. That other doctors thought he was mad and he was put into the mental hospital and he died there. But thank God they have not put me into the mental hospital, though they wanted to. When I first wrote 40 years ago, I wrote a book called What Doctors Don't Get to Study in Medical School. Such a bad review was there in Indian journals. They said this man is mad, he doesn't know medicine, he has to be put in jail, etc., etc. But then after a week, the British Medical Journal wrote a review on the same book, which said this is not a textbook of medicine, but this is holy text of medicine written by a prophet. Then Indians changed. Then they said, okay, that book must be good. So the book is in several editions now, but that didn't change much. The day I changed myself, I was a young man and had a lot of degrees and things like that, and I had lost my head, and I didn't know who I was. But one day, a young lady lost her husband at 2 o'clock in the morning, absolutely fit person who had a massive heart attack and died at about 2 o'clock. My juniors called me and said, sir, please come, this lady is uncontrollable, you come. So I went there at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had not put on my shoes. I had gone in my chappals, walked into the ICU. This lady was rolling on bed, and she caught hold of my, with a big grip of my ankle, and asked one profound question. Doctor, why did my husband die? I thought for a while, my God, with all my lore, I'm a bloody fool today. I don't know the answer to this question. If she had asked me, how did my husband get a heart attack, I would have given her a big lecture on what the textbooks say. But when she said why, I didn't